Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today we are looking at the Super7 Ultimates ThunderCats Wilykit, a figure that I'm very, very excited to get. I'm a little bit late to the Wildcats party, so to speak, but I'm very, very excited to get Wilykit. I've got Wilycat on the way, and I'm sort of working on rounding out my ThunderCats team. I'm doing season 1. I'm a little bit undecided about whether I should do season 2 as well and sort of add, the season 2 Thundercats to the lineup or not. I don't know. Should I do it? Should I do both seasons? Should I get all of them? I mean, it doesn't really. There's not that many more if I do season 2. Anyways, let's take a look at the packaging. So, interesting thing about this one is that there was no sleeve. This came just in a poly bag, so that outer sleeve, may be done, and it's I'm okay with it. I mean, I open these all, and I'm gonna take them out of the package, and I'm gonna store this package in a box in my garage. So it doesn't really matter much one way or the other. But it's a little bit sad. It feels like the end of an era for the Super7 Ultimates. But anyway. Nice big window box there to show what's in the package. So you get Wilykit, the board, the lasso, some extra hands, so on and so forth. On the back, we get a nice big, artist render of the character there, and a bio. Nothing out of the ordinary, nothing too crazy or too different for Ultimates or the Thundercats figures. But as I said, very, very excited to get this figure in hand. So let's get Wilykit out of the box. And here is Wilykit out of the box. She is quite a small figure. What do I mean by quite a small figure? Well, relative to a couple other Thundercats in the Super7 Ultimates line, there is Lino. She is up to, his chest, give or take. And then, a bigger figure in the series, the Mumra, the Ever-Living. There she is. She's like the size of his leg. So she is a very, very small figure relative to the other figures. Now, that being said, I think she is, perfectly proportioned. I think she is the right size for the line. I think she's the right size for the character. You still get Super7 articulation, which is, the single jointed elbows, single jointed knees, hinged and rotating wrists. You get the articulation at the ankle as well as the rocker at the ankle. It's pretty decent articulation. I'm happy with the articulation. The figure itself looks really, really good. The paint apps aren't the best paint apps, but they're not bad. I mean, I don't have any, there's no glaring errors, there's no weird issues that I have with the figure in general. So altogether, just very, very satisfactory figure. I'm not going to say that this is like the most amazing figure or anything like that, because it isn't. I mean, it's the articulation is what you expect from Super7. It's not sort of knocking anything out of the park or anything like that. But I sort of say that on one hand, I say that it's not a figure that's absolutely like breaking new ground or anything like that, but it's still a really, really good figure. The figure looks fantastic. I really enjoy this figure. I'm very excited to have this figure in hand and to add this to my collection. So it's, I don't know, somebody, I've had a couple comments where people kind of go like, well, you didn't really give a great review. Why do you think that this is a great figure? And it's like, well, not every figure is going to be a 10 out of 10 objectively, but subjectively, I really, really like this figure. So I guess that's the difference. I don't have to be objective. I'm not grading papers here. I can tell you that I really, really like this figure and not have to necessarily justify that. So that's toys in a nutshell, right? Anyways, this figure is really, really cool. I really like it. I think it's really augmented by the accessories. So let's take a look at the accessories. First up for the accessories, it is Super 7. So let's take a look at the extra hands. So you get the alternate gripping hands. You get also a hand holding one of the cartridges that the Wilykit and Wilycat have. You know, their little sort of exploding smoke bombs and things like that. These hands are very, very small. The paint is gonna flake off of these. I know, you know, the hinge, you know, they're painted and that hinge is gonna flake. It's flaking off on my fingers. I am not bothered by this. I will say that. I'm not bothered by this. I know it's gonna happen. So basically, personally, I just, you know, move that hinge back and forth, get rid of that paint, move on with my life. I don't need that extra little fleck of paint one way or the other to make the figure work for me. Next up, we get the whip. Now, this is the sort of small whip. This is going to clip onto the belt. There's a little hole on the figure. So that's going to work just like that. And then, you know, the sort of bigger one, the unfurled whip. It's a cool whip. But we get an alternate head, a winking head. So this is the same one that we get on the art of the box, which is cool. And then I really like this. I like this edition, and I like how well this is shaped and sculpted and painted. There's the ThunderCats logo on the top, and you know, the sort of jet. I guess the propulsion system. They never really explain how these work, from what I remember. But the boards. I can't remember what they call these. Forgive me. Let me know in the comments what these are called, space boards or something. Like they have a name, but I can't remember. It's got a foot peg on there as well. And this additionally comes with a little flight stand kind of thing. So this is going to peg into the bottom of the board there, and this is on a ball joint as well. So you get a little bit of, you know, forward and back and side to side motion on this. So once you get it posed up and sort of set up on the board, you can adjust that accordingly. So as I said, I think this is pretty much all the accessories you could possibly want with Wilykit that I can think of, at least. So yeah, really, really cool figure, good accessories. I think, you know, getting Wilykit and Wilycat in the Ultimates line is pretty cool, because these are, I mean, in my very limited experience, in my very humble opinion, probably the best versions that we've gotten of these, bar none. Anyway, I'm gonna get Wilykit posed up and on the board there, and give my final thoughts. So there is Wilykit posed up on the board with the little canister in her hand, winking eye, alternate head sculpt. It's a really, really fun figure. I'm really enjoying this figure. I'm having fun posing her, and just sort of you know, figuring out how this figure will pose and sort of what kind of poses you can get. I'm pleasantly surprised, admittedly, with what articulation there is there. Definitely one of the better Ultimates that I've gotten so far. So strongly recommend, if you can find her, to pick this figure up. And you know, I think this the availability of this figure kind of speaks to what we may see going forward with some of the Ultimates. I know that some of the Ultimates have been maybe too easy to find, and by extension have been you know, discounted figures. But I think that that may be a thing of the past. So if you're into the ThunderCats, I think getting these figures on pre-order or getting these figures early is sort of the way to go going forward. But you know, take my advice with a grain of salt, because I admittedly am probably not the best person to be speaking on ThunderCats specifically. But it does seem as though you know, the availability on not just Thundercats but some of the other Super 7 lines is tightening up. There's not extra stock for very long for a lot of these. So figure that I would definitely recommend. And if you like this figure, as I said, if you can still find her, grab one sooner rather than later. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe. And if you don't want to miss future videos, hit the bell icon to get notifications. Until next time, bye-bye.